structurally minimal. While, and I mean that by like the ideas that happen of revenge and story and invasion are also simple, that there's no subtlety to them, that they're almost borderline uninteresting. And a lot of the stuff you encounter. So I was the same thing. I kept moving through, and I was pushing story, and I didn't care. And then at some point, there is towards the 3/4 way through Act 1, there's then the main storyline. There's a nuance that happens, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? This is interesting. I like this. And I will say, after about 6 hours of pushing through that, so my point, I'm on Act 2. I haven't touched it for hours. I've been going back and just doing everything on the bottom half of the island. And there's a part where once I got all the deflection trees, and combat is easy, like you crush it, and I love the perfect parries. Ugh, so satisfying. You're just like perfect parry, just crushing people. That I actually, all the stuff I found silly and kind of trite started softening, and I'm like, I can see why this game is probably, for a game people beat, I bet you there's a lot of people that platinum in this game, because you're gonna go back and fill it in, and a lot of the side quests, I skipped them at first because I'm like, side quest, a lot of traditional peasant needs a thing, you go do a thing. They're not really repetitive. The stories internal to those quests are fairly interesting, and they're a lot different than a lot of traditional stuff. There's some back and forth. It's not as clear cut as the black and white as the initial game treats it. And then for me, it opens up, and now I just love being in the world. I'm like, oh, here's a question mark. What's go over here? And I'm just slowly traversing everything without that rush to finish the game. And so, but that was a shift. I think it was like 6 or 7 hours in before I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not.
And you
I don't
think
feel
that it's
right,
okay that it was 6 to 7 hours in? Like you accept it?
No. I guess.
Because I know you fight that a lot.
Well, the truth is, I fight that with a lot of games. I typically don't love a lot of things right out of the gate. I don't hate them. I'm just not into them. But I was nervous. I'm glad the story improved, the main story. And there's a shift that happens in Act 1 that I'm kind of impressed. Well, one I don't like and one I do. But I don't know. I'd say keep up with it before, let it sink in. I think that's something with this game, is it